Hey, folks, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're putting out spot fires from your neighbor's Roman candles, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeed, because as we record this, it is U.S. Independence Day. So happy Independence Day to alls y'alls. And as they refer to it in Canada, Thursday.
But, you know, we have to admit that, you know, on the calendar, Canada Day came first this year. So
as it usually does.
Well, yes, because I lost it. Oh, there it is. There. Now we can officially celebrate Canada Day. I have the Canadian flag waving behind me. We'll be okay.
You can just leave that going all night because it's kind of cool how your shoulders fit right into the sides of the flag.
You like that?
Yeah.
Well, if you know, it is also the 4th of July. So, you know, you have to have the American flag there as well.
Well, Jim's already got that in the fireworks. So.
Yeah, because I'm hearing the fireworks outside my windows here. So
I've heard
it's coming through the mic, but they're out there going. So
Man,
I just thought to just leave that running tonight. Anyway, yes. Happy Canada Day, a few days late. Happy Independence Day to the U.S. And tonight, we're talking about the top 10 tips for new geocachers. If you're just finding this episode, finding this podcast, maybe you saw an advertisement in an ammo can somewhere on a mountaintop. I don't know. Could happen. Live audience, let us know. Do you have any great tips for a new geocacher? I know somebody that might, but first we have to introduce him. It's time to bring in our newbie Neanderthal. Some say he believes a Mai Tai has a knot in it. And others say, well, after tonight's show, you'll be talking about him for years. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
I just don't get no respect around here.
That's not new, though. That's not a newbie term.
No, that's nothing new about that at all. Awesome. Good times. Good to be back here. And yes, happy 4th of July to all of our Canadian listeners. Happy belated Canada Day. Both of our respective countries celebrating just how awesome it is to live wherever it is you live. So,
and it's still the 4th of July in Canada.
It is.
Yeah, it's not Independence Day.
Not happy. It's only happy once you're south of the U.S. border. Up here it's Thursday. Like, give me another day and it'll be happier. But it's all good.
Monday is the best day of the week.
So much to look forward to. On
yes,
Monday, right?
Nobody's ruined your week yet.
That's right. Monday is my favorite day.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Thursday.
There you go.
Thursday's pretty good. Thursday at 9:00.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they built the internet for.
That's right.
Well, that's why they added extra servers to the internet. That's for sure. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate the buffering of the internet so that our show doesn't buffer. A quick reminder that we also appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Landsharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Check out the deals and the sales and everything that you can find online at landsharks.ca or in the physical store if you are in Esquimalt, and check that out. Our other corporate Denali level sponsor, well, that would be Gold Country Geotourism. Visit exploregoldcountry.com, learn about the geotours, the region, and don't forget to download the app and plan your voyage to Gold Country soon, like this summer, maybe even.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, well, we encourage you to head on over to the Caching NW geocaching.com website and click on the Patreon link there. That is where you will find out more and have the opportunity to support us like some people have since the last time we covered this topic. Chris, you were doing some research on this.
I looked back to, see what we talked about last time we talked about new cachers, and it was episode 248. So I didn't pay attention to what year that was.
That's like not even halfway through where we're
Exactly.
at today.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I noticed we had, I don't know, a dozen or so patrons. 90% of them are still patrons today. So thank you guys for all your support. We certainly appreciate it.
That's amazing that many people have stuck with us,
Mhm.
supporting us. Clearly, there's a bunch of people who have nothing better to do with their money, and
You better believe that's right.
it's like these guys suck. We better do whatever we can to help them because they're not stopping anytime soon. So
It's like
you're
watching
right. We're not.
watching a
We're
train
going to
wreck.
keep doing this. Yeah.
Can't look away from the train wreck.
Wow.
But all joking aside, we appreciate everybody who supports the show, but a special shout out to those who've been with us for that long and
Mhm.
stuck with us. That's pretty amazing, and I'm just amazingly thankful for that.
Yes, we have some amazing patrons.
Sure do. All right. Well, thanks
Oh,
for doing that
wait.
research, Chris. That was kind of cool.
Are you waiting for me? Am I supposed to be reading something? Okay.
No, well,
It's all
listen,
good.
no, we're just bantering about how much we love our
Okay.
patrons.
That's right.
Ordinarily, we would be asking what a glow is right now, but we're not going to do that this week.
And we're not going to do that tonight.
No.
No.
So, along the same lines, though, we did get some comments, input, feedback from the website. In this case, I don't think they called 253-693-TFTC, although you could. You could also email feedback at cachingandw.com. You could send in a field recording to that address. What else could you do, Chris?
Well, I don't know. I think he got it all done.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could show up
NW
at-
253-693-TFTC.
I was going to say you could show up at Chris's house
You could.
and invite yourself down into the studio and record.
I would probably let you. Or you can reach us on the geocaching messenger.
There you go. Send them all kinds of ways. We're all out
Good
there.
options.
Anyway, this came in from the website this week. Who is a glow? How about that? DVSTRR Media Core. Is that just is that their username, or is that just a function applet on your website that reports that name? I don't know.
That's not from the website. So I think they had to type that in.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, thank you for whoever it is for sending this in. They said, "Yo, I was climbing Gold Mountain in Kitsap County. It's the Kitsap County High Point. Earlier today, that's Kitsap County. That's out on the peninsula, as I recall, from Western Washington there. And I found your guys' advertisement in the cache box. I've never heard it called a cache box before.
And I didn't know we had an advertisement.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
thinking
just
maybe
one
a
of the
sticker.
or a business card or something.
Yeah, we had stickers, we had cards, we had those
Yeah.
postcards for a while.
Yeah.
That's right.
Around somewhere.
And then he goes on, he or she, I'm extremely surprised that y'all are still active. I remember bantering with my friend that this website probably hasn't been online since 2013. But here we are. So, and that's where it ends. It just says, here we are. So
The suspense.
maybe they're going to call back next week and continue that thread.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be
Just here we are.
excellent.
So if you who sent that into the website are out there listening or watching or whatever, well, bleep bloop down in the comments if you like, or send us an email or call 253-693-TFTC. Tell us all about your adventures up there in Kitsap County.
Indeed. Chris, is there a character limit on the website?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So it really is like,
Well,
so
We got a message from one character.
Yeah, that's true. But I believe that's the way people talk nowadays, right?
Could be.
So, I didn't even think this website was up, but here we are. So
Here we are. So
then I would expect an ellipsis, right? So ...
That's punctuation.
If you're expecting people to do correct pronunciation or punctuation or any of those things, it's not going to happen.
All right. Well, devious Media Core? Deviouster Media. I don't know. I'm not sure how we would pronounce that. You got to call in
That's
and let
right.
us know how to pronounce that.
I think
There
it's
you
the
go.
Death Star Media Core.
Oh,
You know,
That makes more sense.
now
Mhm.
demonstrate the full power of this active space station or something. I got the line all wrong, but
all
you wish another target a military one, then name the system.
Okay. Well,
They're on
here
Dan
I
Curry.
am on a rabbit hole trying to figure out when 248 posted. Okay. I have it on YouTube, but I'm not finding where it's posted. Hey,
We tried to banter long enough. It's up to
I
you
know.
now.
And it just wouldn't give up on that. And I should have many clicks ago. Folks, if you want to contribute to tonight's topic, and I already see that you are, use the hashtag top 10 to post something into the chat, and our intrepid chat lackey will be there to grab that, as he already has,
Look at that.
or she. I guess we
They.
should be, they, them has grabbed it. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to bring up anything for the after show. And that could be something that's not related to tonight's topic, but you know what? You want to talk about it, and we want to talk about it with you.
If you're jazzed about it, let us know.
And just in case you want to know, the intrepid chat lackey may or may not be playing games in the background.
Okay.
We've known the intrepid chat lackey for many years, and he plays all sorts of games.
Yes, intrepid is not the same as attentive. I would agree.
That's true. He has been known to monkey around, so to speak.
But bump.
Yeah.
Bump.
All right. Well, hey, we're talking about newbie tips tonight. And maybe somebody just noodling around YouTube stumbled into this episode and doesn't even know what geocaching is. They're that new.
That could be.
Awesome.
It's
They could have
possible.
found an advertisement.
Well,
So
in a cash box.
yeah, at a ticket booth or a rummage sale or
Or a large event.
a Kiwanis pancake breakfast. I went to one this morning.
Oh,
It was quite delicious.
did you take our advertisements with you?
I did not,
Disappointed.
but it was all you can eat. So I went back 3 times because there was 3 hosts and I had enough pancakes.
Oh, well,
for all
thank
of
you.
us.
Thank you
Yeah.
for representing us.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Well played.
So if you're new to this whole game, geocaching is an outdoor adventure game where you navigate to a specific set of GPS coordinates and then attempt to find the geocache container hidden at that location. I know this because it says so in the notes. When you find it, sign your name on the log sheet, replace it as found, and log your find online. That's it.
The end.
Yep. Thanks for
Okay,
joining
thank
us
you very
tonight.
much. Folks, we'll see you next week.
Oh, too funny. But I mean, yeah, in its simplest terms, that's
Mhm.
what there is to the game. And there's so many trams to tell them to flee now before they get hooked on the obsession. That's right. Flee, you
Flee.
fools. Yes.
Flee, you fools.
But yeah, that's in a summary, that's what there is to the game. But I think tonight we're going to kind of walk through a little bit more detail, things that are really helpful to know the first time you go out to play the game, or
Right.
maybe the 10th time you go out to play the game.
Or even the 100th or 1,000th.
Maybe. We'll
know.
find out.
Okay, let's start with number 1. Download the official geocaching app. Now, we want you to download the official one. There are lots of geocaching apps out there, right? Whether you have iOS or Android, or I think they just pulled support for Windows Phone. So if that, you may have to.
What if I've got a BlackBerry?
What about my Palm Pre?
There you go.
Okay, so let's just
Anyways.
move on. If you have an iOS or Android phone, and we know you do, go get the official geocaching app. It's easy to install. It's very user friendly and provides good tutorials to help you understand what the different type of caches are. We'll talk about those in a minute. And help you to understand what to expect to do next. And it's
For
going to
sure.
help you log your finds and get all the details you need on this cache.
Yeah, and I think that's, we're going to have experienced geocachers going, no, don't use the official app. In fact, if you're
Mhm.
brand new to the game and you go to an event and you meet some other geocachers, they'll say, oh, no, don't use this app or use that app. And you know what? There are some fantastic apps out there. But
Mhm.
if you are brand new to the game, it's best to start with the official app for any number of reasons. But as Chris said, there's built-in tutorials that explain the game, really walk you through it really well. Um, and and it's really built for the brand new geocacher.
Yeah.
And that's why start with the official app. Once you start playing the game a little bit more, you decide that, as 3Ham said, that you're addicted now. Then start exploring the other apps. And
Mhm.
we've got great episodes with the developers of the other apps that you can check out as well.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to get into Cachly, you want to get into GeoGo, you can get into any of these. That's fine.
Mhm.
But we suggest, for your first few, stick with the official app. It's going to help you. Keats says, I still use the official app.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He corrected his spelling there. But, and so does
Greenwords.
Greenwords. Thank you. She still uses the official app.
I still have it on my phone. I pull it up from time to time. It's not my primary app, but I do have it.
Now, there are times when, somebody will send me a GC code and it will open in the original app. I'm like, well, I'm here. I'll use it. It's fine.
And if I recall on my phone, at least, because of the way my notifications are set up, if somebody sends me something to the message center, that's where I get it.
Yes.
Through that app.
Yes. That's the only app that has the message center. So that's the number one reason I leave it on my phone is for the message center. Now, okay, but we'll move on. Step number 2. Thanks, I am. Yes, yes. Don't use Cachly for Android because it doesn't exist. Okay, you know what?
Cut him some slack. It's his birthday, or at least it's near his birthday. And they said it's too hot for podcast baking, so they're eating ice cream for Iham's birthday.
Nice. Happy birthday, Iham.
Happy birthday to you. We'll sing to you later. We don't want everybody's ears to bleed.
You've been warned.
We'll leave that for the after show.
That's right. Now, number 2 goes on to number 1, feeds on, because when you go to open the app, it's going to ask you to create an account, right? So the official geocaching app does take you through those steps. They ask you to create a cache name, a screen name, a username, however you want to call it, right? An alias. And then, assign a email account and such. So, this account is necessary for you to log your finds and keep track of everything. So you'll want to use the official app and you have to go create an account.
And let's talk about that just for a moment. We've talked about it in previous episodes as well, but when you go to create your account, if you end up sticking with the game, you're gonna this is gonna be the way that other geocachers recognize you and acknowledge you and communicate with you,
right,
particularly at events and such.
Is that right, Land Monkey?
Right. So maybe think about what it is. So if you wanted to be JB Smith 3775442, fine, but
right.
Maybe try and be, think it through a little more creative. You can change it.
Yes, it can be done.
And there cannot be 2 identical names in the game, which is why you can sometimes struggle to find one that you like. So just something to maybe think about a little bit before. And Keith says, keep your username PG. I would say actually G rated, not PG rated.
Yeah.
Because after a while, HQ they keep an eye on it.
There you go.
And every once in a while, they'll go through, and if you have created a rather rude little name because it's funny, and hey,
They're
we all
innuendo or risque
think bathroom humor can be funny at times, but
at times.
HQ does not want that in the game, and at least not in the usernames.
That's right.
And they will change it on you, and they will often change it to something that you're not going to want to keep.
And keep it relatively short because you're going to be writing it a lot. I mean, you can buy
Yes.
stamps and that kind of things, but he told me this story himself, so I'll share it. When we were at the 20th anniversary event at Seattle Center, Brad said, "Boy, if I'd have known how many times I'd be caching, I wouldn't have made my handle quads in the mud. I have to write that out every time I sign a cache. So make it short. Make it short. Wits End. Land Monkey. Wits End. Land Monkey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe not Chris of the Northwest, unless you really like writing that out all the time. Although, Chris, I imagine you probably often just sign CNW.
I sign CNW very often.
Yeah.
Unless I've got enough room, if it's an event log, with a whole page or large wooden letters cut out that you can write on. Yeah. Then yes, I put the whole name, but usually I just put CNW.
There you go.
It is easily abbreviatable.
One thing I failed to mention is that this account is absolutely free, and it can stay free for your entire life, right? There's no reason you have to pay. Now, there are features available to you if you choose to pay, but you will not be forced to pay if you want to continue to play the game.
You won't, but if you really get into the game, you're going to want to pay the 40 US a year.
30 US a year.
Didn't they up it to 40?
Oh, maybe they did. You're right.
Wasn't that last summer?
That's why I paid ahead.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to, like, anybody who was previously on the 30 plan has been grandfathered in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, if you're brand new to the game, it'll be 40 US.
And if you'd like one of us to register for you, then it's only $100 a year.
Right? Yeah, happy to do that.
What a deal. We'll make your username for you. We'll offer this bespoke treatment for you.
For an extra 1,000 a year, I'll log your caches for you.
Ooh. Oh, there you go. Wow. I didn't know we had these kind of services available. Yeah. This is great.
Remember that podcast we used to be able to do before they banned us?
Are we having fun yet?
Good old days.
Yeah.
Let's move on to number 3.
Okay. Number 3 is understand cache sizes. Caches come in various sizes. They are micro, little tiny ones, small, regular, and large. And knowing the size can help know what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Micros are tiny, hence the kind of, it's kind of in the name, micro. Sometimes it's a film canister. Sometimes it's even smaller. Sometimes they're nano-sized. First time I found one of those, I thought, what on earth is this? A small, their description is typically about the size of a sandwich box. I don't know how often you've used sandwich boxes, but if you can imagine about the size of a sandwich. Regular one. Now that's similar to an ammo can. Ammo cans, I don't know how the Army keeps track of them because we look all over the woods and can never find them, but we do find them occasionally. A large Tupperware box, something, well, larger than a sandwich box, kind of thing, and then large. That's a very loose category. Their definition is anything bigger, such as a bucket,
for Monsieur.
Storage container, 747.
There you go.
Theoretically, that could
shed.
be a large.
If you have a Russian cargo plane that's stuck in Toronto, you could use that as a geocache at the Toronto airport.
There you go.
Do you guys know about that?
No, I don't know about that, but I don't think you could just walk on to the Toronto airport to log a geocache.
Have you tried? I don't know.
No.
I'm it's
hoping
right by
you
the
can.
fence.
I can't go to walk up there at all with my expired passport, but
There you go. So Google YYZ, the Toronto airport code, and Russian freight plane or Russian airplane. And
I got a Rush album.
different.
Oh, that's different. Different YYZ. Okay.
Way cooler. Yes. Okay. Yes, Keith says that
So
you
how
can
long has
follow
this Russian
nanos. I
aircraft
don't-
been stuck there?
Sorry.
How how long has this Russian aircraft been stuck there?
Since COVID.
Well, yeah, since Russia invaded the Ukraine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Basically,
Okay.
the plane was there. The um, the international issues of bans. I'm not coming up with the right technical term here. Embargoes. The embargoes went in place internationally against Russia, and this Russian cargo plane happened to be in Toronto, and the embargoes went in place. And like, well, guess you're stuck here now. I don't know what happened to the crew. I would imagine they got home somehow, but
Krakozhia,
yeah,
New York City closed.
I would like
50-50.
I would like to have seen Montana.
Yes. Different movie.
No, you guys.
All right.
Okay. Have we talked about cache sizes? Not
Yes.
necessarily airplanes, right? Okay.
Yes, we covered them all. That's why we were talking about big, really big.
Yeah.
Big,
Why-
big. Yeah.
The YYZ, the first Y is for huge.
Starcasher says, I don't think Mike Rowe is very small. At least he doesn't look that small on Dirty Jobs.
Well, when I watch on my phone, he's only about that big.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I guess we'll have to ask the Twonky when we get him on the show.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm Mike Rowe, and this is my small cache.
Right? It is a funny pun, though. That's pretty good. Learn the cache types. So we won't go through this in depth, but there's plenty of content out there, and shameless plug, I've got a YouTube video that goes through all this as well that people can check out. But there are different types of cache when you're starting caches when you're starting the game. Generally, you'll be looking for traditional caches, the green icons on the map. They're the most simple. They're the ones at the given coordinates.
And if I may interject,
Yes.
again, using the official geocaching app helps you to find those easy ones around you quickly, right? It limits you to 3. They're all traditional. They're all easy to find. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that's absolutely very good advice. And I think the app kind of forces you to start when you got a brand new account with traditionals, which is pretty smart because otherwise you get lost. Because beyond the traditional, there are also many other types of caches. We won't go through all of them, but there's multis and mysteries, virtual caches, earth caches, webcams, and letterbox, and where I goes. I think I've named most of, and then of course events, which maybe one of you guys wants to talk about that idea, but it's technically something at a geocaching location, but it's not. You're finding other people.
Yeah, there you go.
And then signing them and putting them back in the container.
The way you found them.
Yes.
Trading fairly for their clothes. Yes.
Don't do this at a cemetery. It doesn't work out well.
No.
Okay. No, in all seriousness, folks, go to an event.
Mhm.
Yes.
When you're new, that's going to pop up eventually here on your geocaching app. Take the opportunity, go meet other cachers. You're going to find they're very friendly, outgoing people that want to help you. You will be the star of the event if you show up and say, hey, I've only found 10 caches. Hey, here's a new one.
Yeah.
And people will want to take you out geocaching right that moment.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Let me help you. I've found out some of these good caches in the area.
It can be intimidating for people to go to their first event, and
Yeah.
people will absolutely though. I mean, geocachers are like any other collection of human beings. There's a range of personalities. There's a range of introverts and extroverts, and there's people who already have friendships, or
Mhm.
I hate to use the term, but cliques. So when you show up, people will be in groups talking with each other, and it'll feel really awkward to sort of walk up, not know anybody, and do the hi. So I think, Chris, you've given this advice before, which I think is really, really good advice,
I wonder what that is.
which is to ask around for the host. Find out
Mhm.
who is the host of the event, because guaranteed that person is going to give you a warm welcome. They'll introduce you. They'll explain what's going on. The easiest thing to do if you've never been to an event before is walk up. The The first person who you find who you can speak to, just say, "Hi, I'm new. I'm looking for the host," and they'll say, "Oh, that's this guy or that young lady there," and they'll tell you everything you need to know, and
Yep.
blah blah blah. You'll have a good time.
Yeah, and it's an easy way to, start the conversation.
Yeah.
Why, here's something from Kitty Quest, who has to write her name very lightly on all the logs. She says, I went to an event in Edmonton last week. A brand new cacher showed up who had 0 hides.
Hmm.
He did make his first hide later that day after watching the hockey game. Well, at least you get your priorities straight.
That's very Canadian. Yeah,
Now, is it a hockey game or a hockey match?
it's a game.
Game. Okay.
Game, set, match. No, that's different.
Exactly.
Oh, she said 0 hides, but meant to say 0 fines.
So they're brand new. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very cool.
that's incredibly brand new. Yeah.
No worries. And don't worry about the typos, Kitty Quest, because we have lots of speakos, so it's all good.
We have tacos. Yeah.
Tacos. Ooh.
Hmm. Taco
I'll see
Thursday.
you guys later. Now I'm hungry.
All right. Well, let's see. You've learned the cache sizes, the cache types. If you really want to give yourself a leg up, understand what you're doing, read the cache title and read the cache description. The title can provide hints about the location of the cache or the theme of the cache, if you will. Maybe it's, that'll give a little nudge in the right direction. And then in the description, it very often includes important details about the cache and its hiding spot. Sometimes there's red herrings in there, but for the most part, the description is going to lead you on the right path and head you in the right direction.
On the road trip we were on last weekend, there was some caches where there was no hint, but when you look at the description, there was information in the description.
Mhm.
So some people put the hint in the description. So if it's not super super long, which it usually isn't,
Right.
just read through the hint, and read through the description, and often there'll be helpful information. Sometimes there's information that isn't super helpful for finding the cache, but maybe it's some interesting history or story about the location you're at. So that can be kind of fun too.
Exactly. And if you can't find it, don't post. I'm looking back here. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Thank you. If you can't find it, don't automatically post a did not find. Right. Reach out to the previous finders or to the cache owner. Right. So
Yeah.
you can reach out right there on the cache listing, click the owner, send them a message and say, hey, I'm having trouble finding this. Can you give me a hint? Can you give me a clue?
That's right. And
Yeah.
welcome to the podcast, Hawaiian Miley there.
Yeah. Welcome.
I don't recognize the cacher.
I don't either. There's a whole show around logging DNFs there as well, but it is important to know by the end to consider logging a DNF if you really are stuck, because those are helpful.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, looked at the size, you've looked at the type, you've read the title and description. You think, all right, I think I know what I'm doing. Here we go down the trail. Before you go, one other thing to check. Geocaches all have a difficulty and a terrain rating. So this is tip number 6. Check the difficulty and terrain rating. They're each rated on a scale of 1 to 5, and they have a half in there, 1.5, 2, 2.5, etc. And so if you start with the lower rated ones, a 1-1, let's say, will be the easiest terrain and the easiest difficulty cache that you can look for. Difficulty, as you've probably figured out, is how hard the cache is to find. So is it super, super camouflaged and you need like tools to open it? That's going to be way up in the 5 range. If it's that magnetic Altoid can that's stuck behind a guardrail that you look, there it is. It's probably difficulty 1. Terrain, again, how challenging the terrain is to reach the cache. A 1, I have reached out my car window without unbuckling my seatbelt and retrieved a cache and pulled it in. you can walk right up to them. Maybe it's you have to get out of your car and walk a little ways, but you don't need any real athletic ability or special expertise or tools to do it. A 5, you might need climbing equipment, scuba equipment, something like that. The terrain is very difficult to get to, or you just send Land Monkey to go get it for you and come back.
Yeah, technically, a terrain 5 means special equipment required to
Yeah.
get to it. I want to jump back for a sec. Chat Lackey woke up and was pointing us to something.
I can has tacos.
Yeah, well, after the tacos, but on the DNF conversation, and Keats early in the show had actually also made a comment about DNFs, and so I think combine those two pieces of advice, like don't like, oh, I'm struggling to find it,
Mhm.
just going to post a DNF and walk away. I mean, you could, but if you put in an honest effort and maybe you try and contact the CO and you don't get it, because not every CO is sitting around waiting to see, oh, I hope somebody messages me this minute, right? So
Wait a minute,
some
that's what I
COs
do.
are amazing. Some COs get back to you within like 5-10 minutes, and that's just
Yeah,
blows my
it is
mind.
amazing.
But most don't. But yeah, there's no shame in logging a DNF. There was a whole DNF pride thing from HQ at one point as well. So there you go. But yes, good advice from Keith. So find the balance between those two things.
And if you're looking for a bounce cache, sometimes he puts his phone number right in the cache description.
Mhm.
I have called him from a cache and go, okay, what am I missing?
Yep.
Yes, some cache owners will actually put their phone number in there to call. I know DV Tim does the same thing.
It's pretty good.
Reach out and talk to me. It's okay. Yeah, there's no shame if you can't find it.
Right.
All right. So that's terrain and difficulty. So yeah, those are little star ratings.
Mhm.
Either if you're looking at the website in the up near the top on the cache page, and if you're on an app, it'll be somehow listed in the app somewhere. It'll be pretty obvious in difficulty terrain, DT. All right, we talked a little bit about hints earlier, and if you are having trouble making the find, you're at the given coordinates, or you're close to the given coordinates, within a few meters, and you've read the description and you've read the DT, but you're just not finding. Well, check the hint. There's often hints. My favorite is when you go to hint and it says no hint required.
Yeah. Or look in the title.
Thank you for taking the time to write that into the hint field. That was very helpful.
You can't do that anymore. The reviewers say, no, if there's no hint required, then there's no reason to put this text in here.
Thank you, reviewers. There you go. All right. But yeah, many, not all, but many cache listings will have a hint. And it's very helpful. One thing to know is on the web page, the hint looks encoded. It's in a code. It's all gobbledygook. You don't know what it is. And honestly, when I first started playing the game, I was like, what the heck is this? I don't know what this is. It is always, unless somebody does something intentionally really weird there, it is always in what's called ROT 13, which is rotating the alphabet 13 letters. So it's an offset of 13 letters. In the alphabet, and I think on most apps, and definitely the website, you can either click a button or it even just automatically decodes the ROT 13 as soon as you open it anyways. So yeah, it's there.
I've seen people use the ROT 13 and then spell the hint backwards, like magnetic backwards, and I'm like, come on.
Zagreb, something like that.
Yeah. Like, well, okay, whatever. I get it, but usually the hint is actually helpful. I've put multi-stage hints in mine. General hint. This will get you in the area. More specific. Okay, this gives it away. But
the other thing I was going to say with hints is often hints, you'll decrypt it and you'll still look at it and go, it says missed. I don't know what that means. Or it says taught required, or it says what is that, SPR or SPOR, like what, like it's a mushroom, like what am I looking for? And there is a whole alphabet, a whole encyclopedia of geocaching acronyms, often specific to the locations that you go caching in. So again, going to an event and just asking, like, show up in an event and say, what's a spore? And people might laugh at you behind your back, but they won't laugh to your face. And they'll tell you, oh, it's a suspicious pile of rocks. And oh, okay. So then
You know, we'll laugh because you go, yeah, that's kind of silly. You're right.
Right? Yeah.
I get it too.
Exactly.
And then you have to go through, wait, which one does that mean? That's oh yeah.
Eventually they stick. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, after you've found that suspicious pile of rocks,
Mm-hmm.
the next one will be incredibly easy to find because you'll look for it and go, oh, hey, I remember this. Okay, the next tip we have, and somebody has been reading our show notes because it just scrolled up on me. Come on, click. Kitty Quest says, read recent logs for extra hints.
Yes.
So, you know, you can look at the web page, you can look at the app, and you can look at the people who found it last, right? They left a log, an electronic log on the web page or on the app. And that tells you hopefully a little something other than TFTC. And you go, I don't know what these 4 letters are.
Great.
I'd like
More
to buy a
random
vowel,
letters.
please.
Yeah.
And hopefully they say, hey, that was a quick find. You know, I could get it right out of my car without even unbuckling. Or, you know, I hiked up this mountain for the last 10 hours to get here. And it kind of gives you an idea of, you know, what's involved.
What you're getting into. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Wet Coaster says sometimes a picture in the cache listing or a picture in somebody's log can give you a hint. There's some cachers I know who like to do a ground zero photo. So not a photo of ground zero, but a photo from ground zero. So you can kind of use that to orient yourself to where they were standing when they found it. Stuff like that can be helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, great hint.
I use the photos quite often. I'll look to say, okay, look, they were standing over here.
Exactly. Oh, this tree matches that tree, which can be really handy as well when you're in different seasons because the trees look different.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, and I'm reading the next one, number 9.
Okay.
Pay attention to attributes. Attributes are on the cache page. They're easy to find on the cache page. They may be more difficult to find in an app. The attributes are going to tell you specifics about the cache and the area. Now, these attributes are typically pictograms, right? Little pictures that are going to say, hey, there's parking nearby, or this is a good one for kids, pets are allowed. Or it could tell you, hey, there are thorns nearby, or, you know, dangerous animals. Yeah. It can be both good and bad, a hint and a warning. So
zombies run.
Exactly.
There's also, and if we're talking about that, there's also what are called negative attributes. So there's some attributes like the kid friendly, like 24/7 access that the cache owner can also set into a negative. So basically it has the red circle and the line through it then at that point. But so then it's helpful to know, like, you know, this, you know, one might have like stroller accessible, great, and kid friendly. Another one might have those same symbols, but with the X's through them, right? You're like, oh, okay. So now you know, probably not a good one to bring the kids to.
Kind of road sign like pictograms.
Very much, yes.
Yeah. Oops.
Same idea.
Yeah, poison ivy and danger.
Yes, that's a bad one.
I wish, you know, the cache where I got poison ivy had, I think I had poison oak, had that listed and it didn't.
That sucks.
Or stinging nettles. How about that?
Ooh, stinging nettles tend not to bother me as much. I don't know if I'm fully human.
Well, we've often wondered the same thing.
Whoa, now.
Oh, sorry, that was inside words. Let's see. I think we're up to our final tip of the top 10. And thank you, by the way, to the chat room, because there's
Mhm.
just been a ton of great stuff coming in there. But tip number 10 on our list, and there's so many more things we could go into, is understand the geocaching map. You can go to the map. You can go there in a web browser. You don't even have to pull out your
Mhm.
phone or do anything, and see the nearby caches that are around you. You can refresh the page. You can filter it if you want to see a certain type of cache. There are icons there to say, "Oh, that's a puzzle," or "That's a webcam," etc. So, um, yeah, yeah. Sorry, fireworks are distracting me outside.
I can actually hear them now.
And yeah, yeah. So you can filter a type, difficulty size, almost everything that we talked about before. You can't filter by hint or that kind of thing, but uh, maybe you're
Yeah.
looking for a specific type to, I don't know, focus on, to fill out a grid or a chart or something, or just, hey, I really like this type of cache. There you go.
And again, it's, we're really addressing this to the brand new cachers. So
Yeah.
the filtering that you can do in the basic app or in the official app is relatively basic, and you can do much
Yeah.
more advanced filtering on the other
Mhm.
apps. But generally, as a new cacher, you're not going to be doing. You're going to maybe filter by type. You're going to maybe all the things that Jim was just saying. So, and anything you need to do in the basic app as a new cacher, you pretty much can do. And then you know it's just all this other stuff, all these other complexities, man. It's a rabbit hole.
Oh, it can be. It
Yeah.
can be. Um, we actually have contributed number 11.
Ooh.
So we're going beyond the top 10. Right. To
Thank you
number
to
11.
birthday boy there. Yeah.
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 Well, and only because it's his birthday. Am I
Okay, that's
even
fair.
going to acknowledge him tonight? He says, make use of the website. Don't limit yourself to the mobile apps. And I think that's a really good chunk of advice.
As a new cacher, yeah, I think if you
Mhm.
can, if you've got a laptop or a PC that you can log into and open it up, definitely good advice. And yes, Houston, Texas, Dave suggests that we have turned it to 11
There you go.
because it's more than 10.
This is a little camera that's on the back of my house. That's
Oh, the
this,
live
yeah,
view.
this is what's looking out the back of my house. So, yeah, every now and then
Very
there'll
nice.
be
Oh, I just heard it here. It took a while for the sound to travel
yeah,
after
it
I
takes
saw
a
the
while.
light.
But yeah,
Whoa,
but there's stuff going on outside the window here. Then,
that's fun.
Yeah. So there you go.
Let's just
No,
watch that for the rest of the show.
no extra charge for the live fireworks show here.
Ooh,
Whoa,
big
look at that
one.
Here, I can unmute that. There you go.
This is fun. Way to go, Jim.
I feel like I'm there.
Right. Happy 4th of July. Ooh,
There you go.
that was a dramatic.
I love it. I love it.
So are we looking towards the river then?
Yes, that's looking south from West Pasco, looking down. That's Kennewick across the river. The light's in the low part of the thing there down there in Kennewick.
All right. So this is not an invasion.
No,
Not that we're aware of.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and what is that smell? Oh no, it's different.
Hey, folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. I hope you enjoyed it.
Holy cow. Sorry.
I muted that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's one of your two.
Oh,
turns.
it's my
You,
turn.
you can
Sorry, yeah.
decide which one.
Either me or Jim. We got to fix this at some point in time. But yeah, hey, we want to take a moment to thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Not sponsors of the fireworks show that we are enjoying, but definitely sponsors of Denali, corporate Denali level sponsors of this podcast. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they're shipping those online orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com. And hey, and just as an interjection, if you're just listening to the audio podcast, you might have to just go onto YouTube and watch the tail end of the feed to watch the fireworks that we're watching. Excuse me. But hey, we want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters, especially those who have been with us for how many years now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Since episode 200. But all of you, thank you very much. Land Sharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cashly, the geocaching app. Did I miss somebody? No, I don't think so. I think I got everybody there.
You got it all.
If you want to know,
Oh, go ahead.
If you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com kaboom website.
Houston, Texas. Dave says, great show. I'm not sure if he's referring to this episode or the fireworks.
I think the
Probably
fireworks.
the fireworks. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I just want to mention quickly, if you haven't heard your name listed on several episodes and you believe you're a patron, it's possible your credit card has changed and it couldn't be charged a time or two. It stops trying and we move on. I'm not going to say anything. That's,
Yeah.
people give and then stop the giving as they need. I don't have a problem with it at all. So there you go. So let's start off with saying thank you, Wino Seattle
And MC3 Cats.
And green words.
and Limax
Ackerdock.
B Pendragon.
and the Terrible Tees.
The Camp Clan. Happy birthday, I am.
Boomer 365. How appropriate.
Appropriate tonight. Yeah.
Trexer,
M Nerve.
Ari 54321.
Sege Hove. I was hoping for boom.
I hit the one and more fireworks went off. So that worked well, yeah.
Whidbey Island Gal.
Terrible lunch, great cashier, gas station tuna.
Nervous Energies,
Flagman. That's a good one for today.
Yeah. Skyhawker.
Kitty Quest,
Peach of Washington.
Welcome back. J Car.
Railroad,
Geocaches.
You talks to rocks.
CRS 98,
Team Noltex.
Log work.
Dora Moore,
GeoNav Pro.
Genies.
GSM ×2,
Kid Vegas 19.
Just finding our way.
and Teus.
Subway Mark.
UDAC.
How about the BC Rock Crawler?
How about Wet Coaster?
Ooh, this is somebody I found a couple of his caches last weekend. Mountain bike.
Ooh, LG 9000,
Just Carlo.
Seabeck Tribe.
GeoBirder.
And Butterfly Girl.
Nice. I think we should have,
Stereo.
I think we should
I
have
felt like
fireworks
explaining
playing
it,
every
John.
time we read all the patrons.
Yeah. Well, that's fireworks because our patrons are so awesome. They're getting
Yeah.
a fireworks show.
Well, folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website. And if you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. But if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and leave us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, or watch the fireworks with us any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show's produced by Chris Humphenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jake Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's listed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2024 by Chris Humphenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
And what an after show it is.
Yeah, it's a real show tonight.
There you go.
At least anybody listening to the audio version will be able to hear this.
Yes.
Keith
Yeah.
says, fireworks be distracting.
Yeah.
He also says, while America is celebrating its independence from Britain, Britain had an election tonight. Funny how those dates lined up.
I like that.
Yes, that was a funny little thing. Very good.
Let's see. We already know that for our so-called podcast baking, says I Ham, we're doing ice cream cake.
Nice.
He didn't invite me over.
Oh,
Did we read from Kitty Quest? Go to a local event if you can and meet some other cachers. They will be happy to get to know you and give you some help if needed.
we did not specifically cover that, but absolutely great advice.
And Green Words has some FATAS. 2 nearby Earth caches were recently archived. One was a really good one at Kanaka Creek.
Kanaka. Kanaka Creek. Yeah.
Kanaka.
So,
That makes
so
sense.
that's a really good point. Have been observing that lately. HQ has been going through an exercise in the last couple of months where if an Earth Cache owner is just clearly not engaged in the game, they have not been online for several
Mhm.
years, they are putting a notice, a 30-day notice on that Earth Cache. And if the CO doesn't respond, it's going to get archived. So, if there's some old Earth caches in your
Mm,
neck of the woods that you've been saving for a special date, you might want to go check if they're still there.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't
It
notice
would,
that.
it would be interesting to. I don't know if that would be worthy of an entire show, but it'd be curious to chat with some of the folks at HQ about that cleanup exercise.
Well, I want to get an Earth Aware on to talk
Geo
about
aware.
Geo Aware. Thank you.
Yep.
For Earth caches. Geo Aware for Earth caches, not an Earth Aware for geocaches.
Right?
Um, and
Fair enough.
and go over Earth caches once more. It's always a good show to do so. Now,
Yes.
she also says that she got a CCE for 2025 this week.
Nice.
Congrats.
Fantastic.
Way to go. Now the qualifications, if I'm going to go by memory, but you have to be an active geocacher. You have to have hosted an event this year.
Mhm.
And I think that's about
I think
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
and place a cache this year. There you go. Thank you
Mm,
very much.
there you
Brian.
go.
Put the punctuation on that one.
Yeah.
Iham says, were you able to bring David Letterman in to read the top 10?
Nope. You're stuck.
I'm going to
with
go
me.
no.
No, that's why we didn't read them backwards.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, we talked about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made a mistake. I mentioned something and it started everything up that that you can do a typo, and I said you could do a talk-o. It's a TLAK-O. And suddenly, Bryling perks up. Can I have tacos? To which Pete says, I'm having a burrito now, not tacos. Sure, get my hopes up for tacos.
Yeah.
And Stark Casher.
Starcasher says, maybe you'll need to change the podcast to Tuesday evenings if there
Yeah.
are too many tacos. Thus, it becomes Taco Tuesday.
Yep. You
Now-
definitely started something there, Chris.
Guys, when I go back and I say, oh yeah, you know what? Somebody mentioned something in chat. Let me go find it. Sometimes it's hard to find because all of these things are scrolling by. Okay? And I absolutely love the banter going on in the background. Maybe it's not related to the show. Maybe it's just two friends catching up. That's perfectly welcome. I encourage it. I want you guys to feel free to connect with each other. And if we can encourage that, that's all the better.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, all good.
I think so. Peach says, I hosted an event in April, but I didn't get a CCE. So everyone that has hosted an event didn't automatically get one. Either that or I made someone mad at HQ.
Maybe you just haven't got one yet.
I think, yeah. I think
Have
it's
you
just
hidden a cache this year?
good thing to keep in mind as well. And yeah, and Brian says they'll be giving them out between now and December. So there's
Mhm.
lots of time. Yeah.
Aha, she says, I haven't placed a cache yet.
There you go.
Well, there's lots of time yet, but pitter patter.
And I have no idea how Peach could make anybody mad.
No.
There you
No,
go.
she's just too sweet. There you go, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.